guys, so I'm very pumped to do podcast today since we are going to be speaking about the bill of incorporation. So basically, what we understand about bill. So veil is actually referring to a piece of fine material worn by women to protect or conceal the face. Alright, let's straight to the point. The incorporation of a company will cast a veil over the true controllers of the company. In the simplest explanation, the corporate personality is the veil. The members are shielded behind this veil of incorporation. Normally, courts will not look behind the company, neither why the company was established. However, there are situations happen where the veil will be lifted and the members of the company may be liable for the company's obligations. This especially when the court considers that the members are abusing the corporate veil shed on them. So then, by lifting the veil of incorporation, the court actually setting aside the separate legal entity or personality concept and view the members and the company as one of single entity. The veil of incorporation may be lifted in two ways. The first one is under the common law, and the second one is under the Companies Act 1965 statutory exception. Alright, allow me to explain the veil of incorporation that lifted under common law. It is the case where the veil of incorporation has also been lifted in a situation where the company is being used as an extension of its controllers. The case of Aspetra Sdn Bhd against Bank Bumiputra Malaysia Berhad in 1988. BBMB and BMF sued Lauren Osman, who was the director of the BMB and chairman of BMF. The claim was for 27,625,853 ringgit Malaysia, allegedly being a secret profit made by Lauren without their knowledge and approval. They also applied for a Mareva injunction, variously known also as a freezing order or Mareva order, in Commonwealth jurisdiction or authority. It is a court order which freezes assets so that a defendant through an action cannot dissipate their asset from beyond the jurisdiction of a court so as to frustrate a judgment. So back to the cases, it was to restrain Lauren from transferring his asset out of jurisdiction was extended to Aspetra, one of Lauren's company. They also applied for an order of discovery for Lauren to disclose the value, nature and whereabouts of Lauren's assets. The orders were made on 10 January 1985 but could not be served on Lauren. The court of the application of respondents extended the Mareva injunction to Lauren's assets in other banks and also to his shares in other companies besides Aspetra Sdn Bhd in order to restrain Lauren from dissipating his assets. An anthem pillar order was also granted against Aspetra Sdn Bhd and other companies. Aspetra Sdn Bhd and other companies argued that their assets should not be treated as an asset belonging to Lauren. The Supreme Court held that this was an appropriate case to grant the Mareva injunction together with the anthem pillar order after the bill had been lifted. The court could generally lift the corporate bill in order to do justice, particularly where an element of a fraud is involved. There was admittedly an element of fraud in the receipt of the secret profit alleged in this case, and this was sufficient for the court to lift the corporate bill for the purpose of determining whether the assets of the company were really owned by them. In this case, the veil of incorporation having been properly lifted and Lauren having been exposed as the alter ego of Aspetra, it became necessary to identify all assets within jurisdiction owned by Lauren. The anthem pillar order granted by the learned judge in the aid of the Mareva injunction was necessary as it was an aid to justice so far as the respondents were concerned. The second case happened whereby courts have been willing to lift the corporate bill in the following circumstances. where a company is used to allow a person to evade his legal obligation or to commit fraud. The court has lifted the corporate veil if a company is used to avoid legal duty. For example, in the case of Guilford Motors Company against Hunt at 1933, Chapter 935. The facts that defendant was a managing director of Guilford Motors Company. Under his employment contract, he was prohibited from soliciting the plaintiff company's customer if he left his employment. Subsequently, he left the plaintiff company and formed his own company. His wife and another person were the directors and the shareholders of the company. He solicited the plaintiff company's customer. The plaintiff brought an action against the defendant. The defendant argued that the new company, which is solicited the plaintiff's company customer and himself as separate persons. Therefore, he is not liable for an action of a new company. He further argued that the new company could solicit the customer because the company is not a party to the contract of employment and therefore not bound by the contract. The restriction in the contract is only applicable to him. The held is, the court lifted the corporate veil and found that the defendant controlled and managed the company. Therefore, the formation of the company was a sham. The defendant was trying to avoid his legal obligations under contract of employment. An order of injunction was made against the defendant and the new company. And that's just a little bit about the veil of incorporation, and I hope that it could give you a little bit of knowledge to all of us, inshallah. And so we'll catch you guys to the next podcast. Thank you.